Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 60-Minute Sports Program. This is TC alongside Double G, Gary Gerard. A very unlikely Final Four, going into this week.
Absolutely.
I mean, being the prognosticator that you are, I'm sure you had Butler and VCU penciled into that Final Four, right, Gary?
Oh my, yeah. I don't even know what Butler is. I got to be honest. And VCU, who wasn't there controversy about them even being in the tournament? Number one.
I mean, they were in that inaugural, first four, whatever the hell they called it. But
Exactly.
they made their way into the dance, and now just all the way to the Final Four. And Butler, playing for the national title last year, coming within one miracle shot at the end there of taking the whole thing, and now back in the Final Four again. Just a crazy situation, and a great contrast in this Final Four. You've got the two upstart kind of Cinderella teams there on one side of the bracket, and then on the other side you've got the traditional big boy type teams with Kentucky and my favorite NCAA coach John Calipari.
Of course, everybody's favorite, right?
Yeah. So you've got the Celtics, and I don't know what to make of the Celtics right now, Gary. I have a big issue with the regular season in the NBA, with what a low priority it seems to be for a lot of the upper echelon teams. And it just seems like the Celtics team, when they play the more mediocre or lower tier teams in the NBA, they're completely unmotivated on the court. They want to just coast through. Yeah. And you're seeing that right now at a time where this team is still fighting for either that number 1 or number 2 seed, and they really can't afford to to lose out on that.
No, wasn't it last season they went 27-27 down the stretch?
Yeah.
I believe it was, and they ended up losing in Game 7 of the finals. So seeding is a little bit. You do want home court, to open it up like anybody else would. But let's just hope for Celtics and for Celtics fans that they are just gonna kind of coast and then turn it on again when they have to.
I feel like Shaq has been a week away from returning to the team for I'd say about a month and a half now.
Yes, he has. That gets tiring, and we all love Shaq. We love the the attitude that he brings and how much fun he is to be around. But bottom line is they're not going to win without somebody in the middle, at least clogging up the middle.
As much as I tend to kill Claude Julien at times, I really have to applaud how he's handled sitting down Michael Ryder finally, and working Sagan into the offense more. And I have to I have to give you credit. Last week I got on you a little bit about there's no way Sagan's going to be a major contributor down the stretch and come playoff time. It's starting to look like that's actually going to be the case.
Well, Sagan didn't belong on the fourth line, and I think that everybody agreed that was true. He, all due respect to Campbell and Thornton, he has to play with guys that can skate faster and have a bit more touch around the net. He's been skating with Kelly and Peverly, which I think it's been an extremely consistent line. It's been their third line. They've been playing well, and Sagan is now getting a lot of power play time. He's on that second power play unit. He's been playing awful well. He was moving around. He was moving without the puck. I was specifically keying on him all night that night. I was fortunate enough to be at that game, and everything seemed to go right.
One guy who is certainly making positive strides, and with all of the jabs that we've made at him so far on this show, we got to give credit where credit is due. I mean,
Don't say it.
Daisuke Matsuzaka,
oh
Gary, your favorite guy.
I knew this was coming. I knew that. How did I know this was coming? Go ahead. Why don't you just give us what your opinion is of Daisuke in the preseason?
I mean, and like I say, preseason, you can throw it out the window once the regular season starts. But I mean, he's put together 3 starts now where he's been a completely different guy, and it's been kind of a typical Daisuke. The spring has been kind of a microcosm for a typical season for Daisuke, where his first 2 or 3 starts were horrendous, but all of a sudden in these last 3, he's figured something out. He's really been attacking the strike zone. He hasn't been nibbling, like is one of our number one criticisms of him. And I mean, he's been going 6-7 innings. The strikeout totals have been up. The walk totals have been down. I mean, who knows what it's ultimately going to translate into for the season itself. But I mean, you just, as much as we kill the guy, you got to give him at least a shred of credit when he's actually pitching well.
I'll give him a shred. A very little shred.
Well,
of
that's
credit.
we're moving in the right direction.